Good morning, my loves. I keep seeing this concept of a winter arc and locking in all over my For You pages. So I want to talk to you about my reset that I'm doing now, since it also happens to coincide with my 12-week new year. But first, my first goal for the winter arc, I'll tell you more about later, but it's to incorporate more cardio into my workout routine. So instead of going to the gym 4 times a week, I now go 6 times a week. And those 2 days that I added was just cardio. So let's go to the gym, and then I'll see you when we get back for the official reset. Okay, I'm at the library and let me unbuckle my seatbelt. If you're wondering what the heck a winter arc is, it's a time where you recommit to your goals. Rather than slowing down in the winter season, you set goals for yourself and you commit to accomplishing those goals. The idea of quote unquote locking in. I think this concept is really fun, and the idea that everyone's posting winter arc locking in vlogs just seems like a funny idea for me in terms of enjoyable. So I'm going to do that. And one of my winter arc goals, aside from fitness, we're going to do a whole reset, is also making sure that I spend significant amounts of time outside, just because I purposely moved to a very tropical, sunny state. And while I am very much enjoying the rent that I am paying for, I also want to make sure to get out and about. So I'm going to the library and Sprouts, and then it's back home to do the reset, the homework, and all of the things. We're here! I didn't even know there was a Sprouts in Florida, but apparently there are many. But I am an easily influenced bitch, so I'm gonna go see if they have coconut cult, because again, easily influenced. Of course it's sold out. All right, let us try this again. I absolutely love a reset. Just taking the time to refocus on my goals and what I want to accomplish is so healing for me. And I'd say 2024 has been one of the years where I've made the most change in my life. And of course, if you're not new here, you know that an important part of resets for me is taking the time to reflect on my goals. So what you see me doing here is reflecting on the past 12 weeks, my initial 90-day glow up, and then also reflecting on the goals that I am setting for myself. I make sure that I only give myself a few priority goals, and before I even set those in stone for myself and commit to them, I have to make sure that I take the time to reflect and evaluate where those goals are coming from and if they're actually meaningful to me. And that is so helpful for me when it comes to building discipline and working towards these goals. But with that said, let's continue with the reset. I'm gonna be so fucking real with you and tell you that what I actually want to do is play The Sims, and I will be doing that, but I want to catch you up since we're doing a little reset together. I searched everywhere for the coconut cult yogurt. Eventually I just started to call places because I was not doing all that, and every single store is sold out, but apparently a shipment is on its way tomorrow, so hopefully I'll get that. But if you're new here, from the months of July till literally now, I was on a 90-day glow up journey, and the whole point of that glow up journey was to establish habits and a routine that worked really well for me. And I'm proud to say that I have done that. And because I've completed my year, my 12-week year, I'm now on to my next 12-week year, which is the final quarter of 2024. When I was journaling, I was just doing some reflection on where I'm proud of myself and where I feel like I dropped the ball. And in that reflection, I feel like I dropped the ball when it came to finances. I really was being sloppy with managing my credit cards and how much money was coming in, how much money was going out. I was still saving money because that's just something that I've trained myself to constantly do. So my savings account is still pretty healthy, but not as healthy as I would want it to be. So I'm prioritizing that over the next 12 weeks, really getting a solid financial plan in place for myself. I did move all of my savings over to a high yield savings account over the summer, so that I know at the very least is earning interest. Other area is my diet. I did get a little sloppy with prioritizing my protein intake, and just because of my own health things this entire year, I've just been like seeing specialists and getting a good sense of what's going on with my body and what works well and what doesn't. And because I am showing a lot of signs for insulin resistance, my dietitian and endocrinologist recommended that I really prioritize a high protein diet. So I'm trying to get better at that for this final quarter. And also I noticed that while I definitely am gaining muscle, like you can't see it, but I can see it because I know my body really well, but also I can just like touch and feel the muscles underneath it. Something that hasn't moved is like my stomach region. And I'm not mentioning that in like any kind of body image way, but more in the way that I notice that I'm feeling really, really bloated and uncomfortable. And I know that's because of my diet. I really need to try to incorporate more vegetables, more whole foods, more protein within my diet. And the big reason why I'm looking so desperately for that coconut cult yogurt is not only because I'm easily influenced, and apparently so is all of Florida, also because I realized that I was feeling my best in like July and August because I was consuming probiotics and prebiotics, and then I stopped doing that. And I have noticed the effects of that. But now, besties, the thing that we're gonna do for the reset, I am going to do my budget. Now, I'm not gonna show you this, so you'll just see kind of like a blurred out screen, but I want to edit and update my budget sheet and then go from there. And thankfully, I'm also doing some paying off of some of my credit cards, which I'm able to do so that I can minimize my bills long term. I know you can't see this, so I'm gonna talk you through it. Things that I wanna adjust: number one, gas. Gas is pretty high from my initial budget, but my work is going to be closer to me, so I can edit that. And it takes me about $25 to fill up a tank, and a tank will last me about a week and a half. $70 is a pretty good estimate. And obviously things like my car insurance, my car lease, those aren't going to change. Like that's how much that costs. So we're going to keep that as is. But a big area that I do want to focus on is food, because I estimated way too low for food. I did adjust it and like I could stretch that, but because I am prioritizing my diet, I'm going to rearrange my money. And I'm going to say that it typically costs me about $90 for a week and a half of food. I'm going to just up this budget a bit from $225 to $275. And food I can always move around and adjust if I need to in the future. Subscriptions should not have changed. I do have 72. Wait, no, those did change because I got student accounts for my account. So I've got to pull up my bank statement. So Spotify is $6.79 plus $13 a month, which is my most expensive bill, quite honestly. And then the other thing that I have is an Epidemic Sound subscription, which is the music that you hear whenever I do B-roll. And I do have Netflix, but it's not my Netflix. It's something that I pay for because my mom wants to keep Netflix, but she doesn't know how to set up her own account and it frustrates her. So she just sends me money and uses my account information to pay for it. To be clear, I just don't watch TV. I don't watch Netflix, but that is technically one of my bills. So I'm going to keep it in there, which means I did slightly decrease my subscriptions, but unfortunately, I have other bills. I want to take a look at my credit cards. So I know I'm going to pay off most of them. So I'm just going to calculate how much my card payments actually are when I'm considering how much I want to pay off over time.
Lost in the city lights, our love's electric, right? You make me feel alive. I know July is gone. You make me feel at home in the neon glow.
Okay, if you're wondering what that noise is, I'm running the dishwasher because all of my dishes are dirty. But I am about to make some egg muffins, and the reason I'm doing that is my goal is to eat more veggies, but I also find that sometimes in the morning I just like don't want to get up because I don't want to think about what I'm going to have for breakfast. So instead, I'm going to prepare just a couple of things. So you saw me already make like protein pumpkin bagels. They were fine. They were fine for like my first attempt at making a bagel. I think my problem is that I halved the recipe, And I think when it comes to working with things like yeast, it isn't like an exact split of cutting it in half. So I'm going to try that again at another point with all of the proper ingredients. But the first thing I need to do was obviously cook the mushrooms and the peppers and stuff that I'm gonna have go in the eggs. I'm sorry, I know my dishwasher is so fucking loud. But like I was saying, it's just important to set myself up for success. If I know that one of my goals is to have at least one meal be veggie packed, then I can do myself the favor of having something ready to go that's veggie packed. Although I've been doing pretty well. Like, I started to try to implement this a few days ago, and I think I'm going to make really fantastic products. What's also going to help me is that I hate seeing food go bad, so I'm going to have to use the vegetables that I buy before they go bad. That was 3 eggs. And I mentioned that because I know the whole concept of a winter arc is like committing to your goals and being disciplined and all of that stuff. But what I've learned from my past 12-week journey, the one I just finished, discipline is a lot easier when you make things easier for yourself. So if I know that my goal is to eat more vegetables, having meals planned ahead that incorporate vegetables is going to make it easier for me, especially with things like this egg bite, right? 6 eggs already done, perfect. I can just eat that before I head out to the gym. It's going to also be a perfect gym snack, so I don't have to spend an hour in the morning preparing my breakfast, which, to be honest, I do enjoy doing. And then when it comes to things like budgeting, having a clear sense of what exactly my expenses are will allow me to have better control in the future over what I spend. But also doing some reflection, I've been using Rocket Money for the past couple of weeks, it's fine, of how much I spend and on what. And honestly, more often than not, most of what I'm spending is like necessities and stuff. So just working on all of that. This recipe also calls for milk. So I'm gonna finish up these egg bites and then I'll see you for the final stages of the reset. Where'd that fork just go? Did I just drop it in here? Ew. Ew.
Leaves change color. I dive into you when summer's fading. There's nothing to do but bask in the glory of the winter sun. Maybe this is the season of love. Beneath an endless night, the world spins around. You're there, ease my mind. Like stars that never die, you and I will shine during the darkest times. As the leaves change color.
Alright, good morning, my loves. You can see this is a pretty realistic reset because I sometimes do everything all in one day, but when it comes to a period where I'm resetting for a new cycle, I give myself a few days to do it because I want to make sure I'm really thinking about the goals that I'm setting. Now, and speaking about goals and this whole winter arc idea, I really want to emphasize that for me, this isn't about accomplishing anything specific. Yes, I have goals and it would be nice to reach the outcome that I'm hoping for, but ultimately my goal is to become the person who does these things. For me, it's less about the outcome and more about implementing the habits and the mindset that I want to embody. I want to make sure that I am becoming the person who does these things. And for me, that's been really helpful because it allows me to focus on my actions and behaviors rather than the outcome. And I just want to take a moment here before we go to the gym together to tell you that this 12-week year thing that I've tried out has been very transformative for me. Really viewing the year, not just in quarters, but as 4 separate years in 1 year has been so transformational because you can do anything for 90 days. And then you're like, great, 90 days is over, on to the next task. And I also just want to take a moment here to tell you all, I don't aim for 100% when I do these things, when I do these glow ups, when I set these goals. I'm very realistic about what it is that I can and can't accomplish. I always aim for 85%. That's it. If I can get at least 85% of what I wanted to do done, then I am successful towards working towards my goal, because that is the majority. I think that's a very healthy mindset to establish, because it's going to still create discipline without forcing unrealistic expectations and pressure on you. Because if you start to feel overwhelmed, the odds of you dropping it is going to be a lot higher versus if you just give yourself room to have some grace and say from the get-go, I may drop a ball here or there, and that's fine so long as I'm mostly doing what I said I would do. With that said, besties, let's go to the gym. It's so cold. Why did I not bring a sweater? Oh my gosh.
I need to step back. Constantly online, causing me setbacks too. Every day see so many people doing the things you do, and they're doing it better too. Whoa, whoa. Feels like, why should I even try when there's always some other guy who's way ahead of you, but makes it look easy. Why would they need me? Oh, I hear it now. I'm just being needy. I try not to envy you, to get angry you do it better than me. I try not to hate myself, to lose confidence, but you always
And
do
that
it.
is workout complete. Yes, I'm very sweaty. I'm about to go and shower. But I just want to say it's still really chilly, but it smells like fall, and I'm completely obsessed. And also, I look so sweaty. It was an hour and a half workout, and I did actually finish 20 minutes early, which is great. Great. Rest of the morning routine almost done. Just realized I forgot to open the blinds in my living room, but I'm about to sit down and do some time blocking, because what I've realized over the past 3 months is that I really enjoy structure and routine, and I feel like a younger version of me thought time freedom meant doing whatever I want whenever I want. But really what that does is gives me anxiety as I procrastinate on the things that I know I'm going to do and wait to be in the mood. Instead, what I want to do is create my schedule so that I am doing all of the things I need to accomplish between the hours of 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. So I'm going to sit down and do some time blocking, and then I'll insert a clip of the screen recording and a voiceover of exactly what that looks like and why I'm choosing to schedule certain things at certain times. This is my first time trying to do any kind of time blocking, and I really am enjoying the routine aspect of my day, but find that I have such a hard time with setting boundaries for when my work ends. And I've learned over the years to thrive in the chaos of it all. I have my morning routine, and I have time for things like editing or filming, whatever I need to do, and then I make sure I give myself break time, and I want to end my day by just finishing up any schoolwork. Do I always stick to this? I don't know. It's a new thing for me, but just want to show you what my schedule roughly will look like and what I'm hoping to stick to. All right. And that is the schedule that I'm going to trial out for myself. And I'm only going to do that. Well, I'm going to do that over the next couple of weeks, but for the first couple of weeks, it's going to be like a trial, seeing how that works, and then I'll adjust as needed until I find a schedule that works really well for me. But the reason that's so important to me, I think I mentioned this in the voiceover, is just making sure that I'm really intentional about when is work time and when is relaxation time, because it's really hard to have relaxation time if I feel like I haven't already finished what I needed to finish for that day. Now, the other thing I'm going to work on now is just creating some content plans. So I am going to do 12 days of Shar again. And if you're new here, that's December 1st to December 24th. I post a video every other day, and I want to do that again this year. But because I know what I can and can't do when it comes to my life and focusing on certain goals, I don't want to overwhelm myself. So I want to make sure that while I have the ideas and inspiration now, I'm writing it down and I'm starting to film some of those videos so that December is not as overwhelming for me and I don't feel like I'm too busy to prioritize the things that I want to prioritize. So I'm going to open up my little content calendar. Content calendar is things that I need to film and when I want to post them. And I don't know how I'm going to show this to you and if I'm going to show it to you. Probably not, because then it would spoil what you're going to see for 12 days of Shar. But just know that I'm going to work on that now and we'll wrap up this video soon. All right, this is my little December content plan. So I'm going to start filling this out now with the ideas I already have. And that is December all planned out. I literally have every single video that is going to go up for the 12 days of Shar planned out. And that is such a relief because that means I don't have to think about December when it comes to content planning. Of course, I'm still gonna have to film those videos and many of them will be like real time, but I don't have to waste any creative energy at the time where I'm gonna be editing so much. But I'm about to make a coffee and I'm going to wrap up this video. First, I do actually need to unload the dishwasher. I don't think I'll show you that though, because you've seen it before. It's unloading the dishwasher. So let me just do that and I'll be with you in a minute. First, let me tell you, those egg bites that I made last night were so fucking good. Oh my gosh, I blew my own mind with how good they were. I want to talk to you about building discipline because if there's anything that I'm really focusing on in the creation of these routines and sticking to these routines, it's discipline. As I already mentioned in this video, I don't want to use this straw. You look dirty. And I'm gonna use the Chobani Pumpkin Spice Creamer. This is really sweet. You really do not need a lot of it, especially if you use milk in your coffee like I do. Like that is the perfect amount. Almost done with the coffee, but first, I already mentioned that the reason I set these goals really has to do with becoming the kind of person who just does this. I ultimately am on a mission to make this part of my identity, and it really is less about the outcome for me than it is about being the person who does these things. And that does require discipline, and discipline is a skill. I think people talk about it as something like you just force yourself to do, but really the creation of habits and routine has helped me a lot in building discipline because even when I don't want to, I start to feel icky when I don't do it. So for example, yesterday I had a pretty busy morning and I potentially am coming my period. So I was feeling very, very, very sensitive. So then I came home and I was like, I don't want to go to the gym. And I couldn't go that morning because I had an early morning interview. But I was like, I don't care that I don't want to. And I went to the gym and I did leg day anyway. And I felt so much better for doing that. And I want to say, that's not to say don't give yourself grace. If you genuinely feel like you need a break, then take a break. But for me, recognizing when I'm taking too many breaks, the difference between mentally not wanting to and physically not wanting to. And if it's a mentally not wanting to in the terms of I'm just feeling lazy and not in that I need like a mental health break, then I'm going to make myself do that. And the whole point of this little ramble at the end of this video is that discipline is important, but motivation is nice. And that is something that I am focusing on. So if you've seen my morning routine or you've seen my vlogs, you know that I always make sure that the first thing I do in the morning and the last thing I do before I go to bed is watch motivational videos and content creators whose videos that I find inspiring, because motivation is just nice. It's nice. Discipline is great, but inspiration is just nice. So I'm going to end this video with a reminder that you should look for content influencers, I hate that word, content creators who inspire you. Look for the people who inspire you, read the books that inspire you, and even if it's only 5 minutes of your day, if you ever feel like you're wavering in your goal, watching someone who is doing what you want to do or who has what you want to have can be a really great motivator for the days where the discipline itself is starting to feel more like a burden than something that is helping you, even though you know it is helping you long term. Now, I've used the absolute shit out of this. Like, it's almost halfway done. But if there's ever a time to drink brown sugar drinks, it's fall time. So can you blame me? No. So besties, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you did enjoy it. It did end up being a little bit more mental reset than it was physical reset, but that's totally fine. If you are looking for like cleaning motivation, I'll leave my deep cleaning video linked here. Delicious as always. So as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'm going to see you in my next video, which is going to be a very exciting one because as you're watching this video, I'm doing something very fun.